Hello everyone and welcome along to another rugby discussion video. Now today, of course, the Rugby World Cup is only a matter of a few weeks away and we're having some squad announcements. As you've witnessed, we've had the Wallabies squad announcement, the likes of Samoa and Fiji have announced their teams, and Argentina have announced their 31-man squad as well. So hopefully over the next couple of weeks we'll be having a look at each and every one of these squads building in to the Rugby World Cup. But for today, of course, deadline day is the 31st of August, and New Zealand will be announcing their 31-man squad on the 30th of August. So about a week or so away from today, which is Saturday. What is the date today? I'm not even too sure. It's about a week away. It's the 22nd. I have to look at a calendar for that. It is the 22nd of August. So we've got about a week or so to go until the squad is announced. So this is going to be my 31-man squad for the Rugby World Cup for the All Blacks. So this is what I think is going to be picked and what I would pick as well. So let's dig straight into it and see who will be there for Cornflakes' 31-man All Blacks squad. So we're going to kick things off with the front row and the hookers, and I think the All Blacks will be taking 3. And I personally myself would take 3 as well. It's pretty easy to pick who's going to be there. Dane Coles, Kevin Maalamu and Cody Taylor. Those are the 3 that have been there all season, rugby championship, friendly matches, all that sort of stuff as well. They're the 4 ones. They're the ones that have been tested, and they're the 3, I think, that will be going to Rugby World Cup. No question about it whatsoever. Dane Coles, so many streaks ahead of the other 2. It's not even funny anymore. He is that so good, such a good X-Factor player to have in the front row as well. On to the rest of the front rowers, and will be, of course, the props coming in. We will have, let's see, 5 coming in to join those 3 hookers. So we're looking at Woodcock, Owen Franks, Ben Franks, Wyatt Crockett, and Charlie Faumuina. So we are still a week away from selection, and Charlie Faumuina is still under a bit of an injury cloud. If he does become fit, he will go. If not, it could require a bit of a reshuffle into those 5. But I think Faumuina will come good. He won't be first choice. He'll be, down the order a bit for the lower order matches. So we could see Faumuina be taken as he tries to just get back to 100%. The likes of Woodcock, the Franks and Crockett will be able to carry that burden for the opening couple of matches. Faumuina will cover, and bar any massive injuries, that should be the 5 props going to England for the World Cup. So into the second row, this is where things start to get a bit contentious, I think, from my point of view. It's a bit of a question of 3 or 4 locks or 5 or 6 flankers. That is where it sits at the moment for the All Blacks. We know that Brody Retallick and Sam Whitelock will both be there come Rugby World Cup selection day. They're so easy to pick. And of course, Luke Romano has been with this squad all season as well, and he's played a fair chunk of it. I think the selection staff have liked what they've seen in Luke Romano. So there's your 3 locks that really pick themselves. So the question will be, does that 4th lock spot go to a Jeremy Thrush, or does it go to a 6th flanker with 1 or 2 of them covering in the second row? So we'll miss out that 4th lock, 6th flanker position. We'll have a look at the flankers we have already that are definitely going to go, in my opinion here. McCaw, Kane, Reid, Kaino, Vito. So there's 5. Richie McCaw, captain, of course, he's going. Sam Cane, the prodigal son of Richie McCaw. One can say he's on the boat. He's on the plane as well. Kieran Reid, do I need to say anything else about Reid? Kaino and Vito. I think definitely Victor Vito on that second Bledisloe match played his way straight into the side. No question for me on Vito. He's probably pushed himself into a starting spot as well. Kaino's been steady. I'll say steady without being too disrespectful for his form, but he's not been his best, but he's been fairly decent as well. So that's my 5 that I'll definitely take. So it comes down to Liam Messam versus Jeremy Thrush. That is that spot on the 17th forward that really is tossing up between, personally, myself. I think Liam Messam has been in horrifically bad form this year, and I'd like to take a 4th lock. So personally, I'll probably just lean towards taking Thrush. I think the All Black selectors, though, will go the other way, and they will take Liam Messam, and they will call on someone like a Vito Kaino or Messam to cover. behind in the second row if required. You know, it's like we've seen with the Wallabies squad. You can very quickly get too thin in certain areas. I don't think the All Blacks will want to get too thin in the second row. Wailock and Retallick, they'll be the mainstay. So it'll be between Thrush and Messam. I'll take Thrush. I'm pretty sure Hansen will take Messam. So we move out of the forwards. That is 17 in the forwards, which leaves us with 14 players to fill into the back. So we got the scrum halves first up, and I think they'll take 3. I think this is the norm. I think this is what is expected. There will be Aaron Smith, TJ Perenara, and Tawera Kurbalo. Now, Kurbalo's still building back his way from injury, but I think his previous form and really just how much advanced those 3 are from the rest of New Zealand speaks for itself. You know, Aaron Smith is out and out. He's kind of like Dane Coles with the other 2 hookers. That's what Aaron Smith is like with Perenara and Kurbalo. We've had some talk about the likes of Andy Ellis being unlucky to miss out. Personally, I don't think Andy Ellis is at that international level. Others may disagree, but I think these 3 are definitely the 3 to go. Of course, there's always Augustine Pulu as well, another scrum half who could consider himself a chance, but I think they'll stick with these 3. Kurbalo, his injury, although setting him back, has done him well. The faith will be shown in Tawera Kurbalo going to the Rugby World Cup. Into the rest of the backs, we go to the fly halves, and this is another issue where there's a bit of a 50-50 call here. Daniel Carter will go, Bonan Barrett will go. Now, there's still 2 more players that really have to fit into one spot. You've got Colin Slade, and we have Lima Sopawanga. Now, they both can't really go unless you short them out somewhere else. I think Steve Hansen is going to take Colin Slade primarily for his versatility. And while personally I'd prefer to see Sopawanga there, a player who is just so calm and cool, and nothing gets the better of Lima Sopawanga so far in his short rugby career. He was very good against the Springboks in South Africa. Now, not many can say that. He was just that good. But I think Slade will get the nod, just because of his versatility. He can play at fullback, he can play at inside centre. We've seen him, why, I don't know, but on the wings as well. He's a horrible winger. Not very good at many of the winger skills at all, but he can cover there, and we've seen him there for the All Blacks in dire situations if that needs be. So I can see where Hansen will be coming from if he did select Slade, and I do agree with that. I'd like to see Sopawanga there, but I just think 4 more years for Lima unless we see some injuries to Carter, which, let's be honest, wouldn't be much of a surprise now, would it? We move into the centres, and we will just be taking the 4 centres, and they really, there's no question about these. There's no 50-50s here. Nonu, Martin Nonu, Conrad Smith, Sonny Bill Williams, and Malachi Fekitoa. How does Malachi Fekitoa come on this year? Like, he was good in his debut year for the All Blacks, but I think he's really progressed, especially under the guidance of a player like Martin Nonu. 2 very similar players. I think Fekitoa has benefited very much, and when Nonu goes after this season, after the Rugby World Cup, I think Fekitoa is going to go shook and fit straight into that Nonu mould that has been left by the man who's having the season of his career. I think he is exceptionally in form, and those 4 will be my centres going into the Rugby World Cup. Now, the outside backs, the wingers and fullbacks, this is tough. You think 31 players is quite a lot to take, but this is where things get really sticky. We've got 4 spots left. Of course, that has to be for wingers and fullbacks, something that in the modern game are the same similar kind of rule book. You know, normally your wingers are pretty adept fullbacks as well, which is kind of why I've gone with the 4 that I have. So, here is my 4. No messing about. Julian Savea, Charles Piutau, Nehe Milner-Skudder, and Ben Smith. Now, Savea and Ben Smith pick themselves. No questions about those 2. They are first teamers, names on the team sheet. No chance of seeing anyone else in those spots. It's the other wings. Charles Piutau, I thought, really stood out for me in that match against the Springboks, where he got man of the match and had a really solid game. He has the ability to cover positions, centres, and a fullback at a push if need to as well. Nehemiah Scudder, he's the other way around. He's naturally a fullback, so he'll be the backup to Ben Smith. Would see him there as well. We know, Colin Slade can play fullback as well, which is another reason why he'll get the tip over Sopawanga. Even though we did see Sopawanga play at fullback in the ITM Cup for the Southern Stags just this day past. So, is that something that the All Black selectors are looking at when they're trying to toss up between Slade and Sopawanga? Once again, those are my four. I think the only big surprises here, well, there's a couple. There's a few. Oh, let's be honest. Okay, so the obvious, Corey Jane. Brilliant for Wellington a couple of days ago against North Harbour, which, let's be fair, North Harbour probably the weakest side in the ITM Cup. Corey Jane carved up from fullback as well. So, is that another thing in the reckoning? Didn't get injured. He's extremely injury prone. Do we want to take that risk with Corey Jane, as brilliant a player as he was? I don't know if he's still got it at an international level. That's why I have not selected him in this squad. The other ones I haven't selected would be Israel Dag. Now, this is where some of you might get, a bit edgy about Israel Dag and the lack of him being in the squad, but I think he is just completely lost. He's lost his form, he's lost his shine, he's lost his spark, and he's lost his bounce, and he's struggled this year, and it was always that debate, Israel Dag did nothing wrong, why replace him with Ben Smith? But it just faded, and the level faded from Dag, and Ben Smith, he is one of the great players currently in New Zealand, at fullback especially. He is number one. Milner Scudder can cover, we don't need another specialist fullback. Slade can cover, there's options as well. If an injury goes down, I think Corey Jane will be the one to get it if we carry him as well. Israel Dag, gonna have to wait on the bench, I'm afraid. Sorry for this one. Stick around, maybe go on a big OE over to England. Your call may come if someone goes down hurt, but you're not going to be in my 31-man squad. So there is my 31-man squad. A bit debatable. Oh, the other one I missed out as well, going for the wingers, would be Waisaki Naholo. Now, this is... I don't know what to say about this. Waisaki Naholo. He went to... If you're not aware of what this is, go look it up. But he got a big injury against Argentina. A broken fibia or something like that. I'm not too sure about the workings of the ankle. Or, and he was out. That was a 6-month injury or something along those lines. He went to Fiji. Got some bloody leaves put around it. Some leaves put around his leg for 2 or 3 days. And now he's running. Now this just sounds ludicrous, but he's off to get x-rays and he's running and people going, what the hell? And for those of you in New Zealand, the likes of Aaron Cruden and Sean Johnson are wanting to know about these leaves from Fiji. Players with big injuries, big impact players as well from NRL, and of course we all know Aaron Cruden out of the big injury has seen him out earlier this year in Super Rugby. But Naholo, I can't see him forcing a space into this team. He needed to play the Rugby Championship, and really, he played well against Argentina, did not look out of place. But I just think one match is not enough. We see Milner Scudder, he stood up, he's as slippery as a snake, and he was very elusive. And where do you put him in? Do you drop Piatau, who's been solid? I don't have a place for Waisaki Naholo in my team. He would probably be my first man if an outside back goes down injured. I'd call Naholo up if Piatau or Milner Scudder got injured. Israel Dag would probably only come in if Ben Smith got injured for mine. And Corey Jane, well, if 2 wingers went down injured, Milner Scudder and Piatau, then you're up, Corey Jane. But for now, for this 31, that is it. A big load of controversy right through that one for you all to discuss and argue about. Let me know what you think in the comments below as well. Everyone's got their own 31-man squad. I'm interested to see what actually comes out on the 30th of August. Hopefully, I could be pretty close on with my guesses here, and I'm sure everyone will let me know. I will be reviewing that squad when it is released, tell you who I think is surprising, who I think is unfortunate to be missed out. But until then, thank you all for tuning in and watching. If you've got things to say about your own international side and they have announced their squad, like I said a few weeks ago as well, I'd love to get in touch, have a bit of a chat about the squad that you know plenty about. So get in touch. A few of you have already, which I'd love to have a chat with you guys about. But until then, until next time we meet again, thanks for tuning and watching, and take care.